and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to have a look at my physical TBR, and as you can probably tell from the title of this video, I actually do know how many books I have on my physical TBR right now because I keep track of them on my Goodreads. Though I have come to redeem myself today because I actually do read a lot of manga, and I know a lot of the books I have on my physical TBR are manga. So today I actually wanted to just only look at the novels I own, count them and have a little chat about them. And if you might have already read some of these books, don't forget to leave a comment down below and I might just read that one first. But without further ado, let me grab the books and let's get into the actual video. Okay, so I think I've got them all by now, and I want to start with the ones I'm actually currently reading, which are The Night Circus and Days of Blood and Starlight. I'm currently reading The Night Circus with my book club, so I'm halfway through and I can't finish it yet. Yeah, it's about a circus and magic and there's a competition. Totally honest, I am not quite following the storyline that well. I am having fun with it, but I can't really tell you any more than this, though I know a lot of people rate this book very highly, so I still got my hopes up for the second part of the book. Days of Blood and Starlight, which is actually the second book in the series. The first one was called Days of Smoke and Bone, I believe. It's by Laini Taylor. I gave the first book in the series 3.5 stars. I quite liked it, but I read it like about 4 months ago and I finally picked this one up and I'm having a really good time with this one. This one focuses a little bit more on noir, which I like a lot. Then we have Bookshops and Bone Dust. This is actually a second in the series. The first one was Legends and Lattes. I really enjoyed the first book as well. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. And I can't wait to read this as well. But I think I'm going to save it for the fall this year because it's like a cozy fantasy and I think it's better for that time of the year. Then we have It by Stephen King. I think the main reason why I didn't get to this book because it was a little bit intimidating, and not because it's like a horror book, but because it's like 1,000 pages long. And actually last year one of my reading goals was to get through a book that's like more of 1,000 pages, and I didn't succeed. The Institute, another one by Stephen King. This is one of the books I have longest at home, I think. I got like 4 different Stephen King books like a little bit over a year ago, and I got to 2 of them. and it and the Institute's other ones I didn't get to yet, but I think I'll get to this one this year because it isn't that intimidating as it is to read it. Then we have The Witcher, Blood of Elves. This is the third book in like the 8-book series of The Witcher. I've read the first 2, which were like short stories. I didn't get to this one quite yet, but I do want to. The only problem is that I want to get rid of my physical TBR, like not getting rid of the books, but like reading them all. And because I only got like the first book of the series, it would mean that if I would read this and if I would like to continue the series, I would have to buy more books. So that is mainly why I haven't gotten to this one yet, because I know I wouldn't read any books of my physical TBR. Then we have the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I actually was really excited to read these books. I also got them on audio, and I think that's the main reason why I haven't got to these yet. I wanted to listen to them on audio and not read them anymore, but I think I've changed my mind. So this year I'll probably read them. I was planning to listen to them on Audible, but I am currently like listening to all the Plus free membership audiobooks that you get, and after I cancel my membership, I wanted to go through all the audiobooks that I bought with credits. But yeah, I haven't cancelled my membership yet, so I couldn't listen to them. So I think I'm just going to read them. Then we have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing. I know 0 about this book. It was a gift, but it has my priority to read it because it was a gift. So I'm sure I'll read it sometime this year. Then we have Dance of Thieves. This is the first book in the duology. To be fair, I only got this because it was really cheap on Vinted. It's like a fantasy romance, and I know a lot of people like this book. I do want to read it, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Then we have Babel by R.F. Kuang. I own this book quite some time as well. It's like a dark academia. I heard a lot of people rave about it as well. Almost 600 pages, so I think that's mainly why I haven't read it yet, but I would like to get to it. Then we have The Lost Bookshop. I am 100% reading this book because we're probably reading this next up in my book club. Next up we got Swift and Saddled. This is the second book in the Rebel Blue Range series. I read the first one, Done and Dusted, like last summer, and I did like it, but not like, it wasn't amazing in my... I'm sorry, my cat is going wild. I did like the first book, but it wasn't really that amazing in my opinion, so I haven't really gotten around to this one. But I'm thinking I'll read it this summer. Then we have Love on the Brain by Ellie Hazelwood. I actually got this after I read Love Theoretically because I liked that book a lot. I wanted to give another of her books a try, but I'll probably read this one or during like Valentine's Day or probably in the summer because I like to read romances at that time of year. Then I've got the Thursday Murder Club. I thought it was kind of like a horror book, but I am not quite sure. I was thinking on reading this during like the fall or October or somewhere around Halloween. Dreams of Gods and Monsters. This is the third book in the series that I'm currently reading, and I'm thinking about reading this next month so I can finish the series up. Then I've got Renegades. This is also the first book in a series. I actually know nothing about this book, but I did hear a few people talk about it. And I know it's the writer of the book Heartless, and I know a lot of people like that one as well. I haven't read that one as well, but I do want to eventually. I'm just not sure when I'll get into this series. Then I have the whole Natural series. I think I got a really good deal on this series on Amazon, so I got it. And I was quite excited to read it because I know a lot of people like this, but I just haven't gotten around to actually reading it. I'm thinking about reading it soon though, but I'm not sure. Then I have the Book of Night by Holly Black. I actually got this on Vinted, I think around the time just after I read The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by the same author, and I really liked her writing style and I could get this for a pretty good deal, so I got it. But I don't know what's the book about, and I know it's like a beginning of a series because the second book would come out somewhere this year. So I'm thinking on waiting a little bit, and when the second book comes out, I might read them both. To Kill a Shadow. Don't judge me on this one, but yes, I got this because the book is pretty. It had sprayed edges, and I think it's like the first book I might have actually bought. That's like a special edition with the sprayed edges and stuff. But I haven't gotten around to reading it because I've read a lot of negative reviews about this book. So that's why I'm scared to start it. But I'm thinking on getting to it soon, just because I know like the second book in the series came out. So if I'll like this one, I can get the second one as well. Then I've got the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I've got all of the hardcover special editions of this one. I'm really eager to start this one because I've read like 2 books by this author by now, Holly Jackson, and I really enjoyed them. I'm just not sure when I'm going to pick these books up because I'm just a little bit scared that when I've read them, I haven't got any books of her left. But I'm thinking on reading them like this summer maybe. Then I got The Book Eaters. I know nothing about this book. It's a special edition and I got it from Vinted and it's really pretty, but I know absolutely nothing about it. The eyes are the best part. It was on sale, so yeah, I got it. I know it's a horror book and I know next to nothing except for that. Reaper of the Year, another pretty book I got from Vinted. I don't know what it is with just all of the pretty books. I instantly buy them, especially when they're on sale. And I'm just now realizing that most of the books I have on my TBR I know next to nothing about. Then I got 3 books by T. Kingfisher. I got them from Illumicrate. Let's see, I got the Twisted Ones, The Hollow Places, and A House with Good Bones. I'm planning to read them somewhere this year as well, but I'm thinking of more like the fall times because I know she writes like a little bit spooky, horror, fantasy kind of books, so I think that's a better time to read them. 7 Faceless Saints, another book I got from Vinted because it was on a really good deal and I thought it was pretty, but I know absolutely nothing about it. Then we have Arcanum Unbound by Brandon Sanderson. I got this book because I was really hyped when I started reading and listening to some audiobooks by Brandon Sanderson. But this is like a short story collection, and the book warns you in the beginning that some of the stories aren't meant to be read after you've like read some of his series, and because I haven't read those yet, I can't finish this book. Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. This is another Fairy Loot edition I was able to get for pretty cheap off of Vinted. The Courting of Bristol Keats. One of the Fairy Loot editions I got recently. I've gotten my own Fairy Loot subscription right now, so I get sent monthly books by Fairy Loot. Though I haven't read a lot of them yet. As you could probably tell when I was grabbing the books, I have only read one of the Fairy Loot books I have actually received. For She Is Wrath. I've heard good things about this book as well. It's one of the Fairy Loot books as well. The Temptation of Magic, another Fairy Loot book, but this one I got from Vinted. The Coven. As you can probably tell, it's from Fairy Loot as well. Lore of the Wilds. The Teller of Small Fortunes. And last but not least, A Language of Dragons. I think this is one of my favorite Fairy Loot books so far. So I've counted all of them And currently I've got 44 actual books on my physical TBR. No, I don't. I managed to forget these ones which were laying in another room, so that adds 8 more books to my physical TBR. This is the whole Throne of Glass series. So grand total will be 52 books. Which I think is still a decent amount of books to own, because I think I can get through all of them this year. I might not, but I'm really going to try my best. If I keep like a few books left, I don't mind. Sorry, I got distracted by my cat. Hello. But I think that concludes most of this video. I currently own 44 books and I think I'll get to them this year. But if you've read any of these and you would recommend me to read it rather sooner than later, do leave a comment down below and I might get some priority on my TBR. Thank you guys very much for watching and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of me. Bye!